Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Southside Beat here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel, of course, on our DK Pittsburgh Sports app. Welcome, Chris Halicke, Matt Williamson, talking Steelers football. Preseason's over, Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel after 3 preseason games? How are things? How are you feeling about this team?
Yesterday was kind of a tough watch.
Yeah.
And it was not great to host a two-hour post-game show for. We finally did get to see some Steelers that have rested, but not a ton of those guys, and not the very top most important dudes, as everyone knows. But I don't want to bury I don't want to get away from the fact that Carolina did not take this game at all seriously. I mean, they sat like their 30 most important players, and they're a terrible team to begin with. Like, I don't even know what to take of it. I mean, I know the league very well. I'll take the Pepsi challenge against any Pittsburgh guy about league knowledge. And there were very few Panthers I knew anything about that were on that field. That being said, the Harmon injury is something we need to discuss. But all in all, I definitely think the vibes are good. I think the vibes are real good. And the health, Harmon aside, in which maybe they dodged a bullet, is pretty darn good as well, which clearly was a priority. There are some rookies to talk about, some new guys to talk about. There's tons to talk about. But last night's game, I'm not going to watch it 3 and 4 times. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's so I've kind of gone back through it once already today.
Yeah, me too.
My chalk talk.
And I'm done.
Yeah. My chalk talk for the day is actually going up right after the show is over.
Cool.
I just got done exporting it. Player of the game for me is YA Black, and so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it on this guy.
He might be the player of the preseason for me.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. He's the player of the preseason,
which makes the whole Benton thing, or not Benton, I'm sorry, Harmon thing, a little more palatable.
Yeah. So really quick, just to fill everybody in case you don't know, Derek Harmon went down in the second quarter last night. He was carted off, was showing a lot of emotion on his face. You're just like, oh, okay, this is not looking good.
No.
Fans are starting to jump off the 6th Street Bridge in downtown Pittsburgh. But, it ends up not being that bad. Harmon comes back out, goes to the sideline under his own power in street clothes in the second half. He's laughing and joking with his teammates. I saw him after the game. He walked out of the locker room a little gingerly. I described it as a very slight limp. Either way, he's walking gingerly, but he's doing so without a brace, without crutches, anything like that. So that's always a good sign. And if he had torn an ACL, we would not have seen him after the game.
No, right.
Yeah. So
I also thought there was an over bit of optimism too. Just because he's smiling next to Cam Hayward doesn't mean he's totally fine either.
Oh no, so the report today from NFL Network is that Derek Harmon sustained an MCL sprain and he'll be out about a month. So that makes him a legitimate candidate for IR designated to return because the Steelers have 4 games, then they have the bye week, and so if there's
do you think it's 4 weeks or 4 games?
It's 4 weeks. Oh no, it's
from
4 games.
Today.
It's 4 games. It's
4 games. Okay. I misread that then. I was thinking it was 4 weeks from August 22nd.
No. So if the Steelers put him on IR designated to return, he is out the first 4 games of the season. No matter what.
That I knew, but I thought he was thought that it would sideline him for 4 weeks, which is different than 4 games considering the timetable.
Right. Yeah, because we're 16 days away from the start of the season. So
right.
if a month is the prognosis, then he could be back by week 3.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, but that's why he's still a candidate for it, because if it's one of those things where like, listen, we really don't want to rush it. The teams that we're playing, we should be able to be beating without this guy. This isn't like being without Aaron Rodgers or being without Jalen Ramsey or being without. I'm not saying that they don't have a high opinion of Derek Harmon. They absolutely do, but he's also the one thing, and Denny brings it up here, when you have somebody like Y.A. Black who is playing the way he's playing, and you have a couple of other guys who can at least fill in the gaps, yeah, you want to have that extra depth, but you'd much rather have it in December and January
Good point.
Then risk it now by rushing him back before he's really ready, just to win maybe an extra game in September, and then possibly lose him for a longer period of time. That's the one thing you definitely don't want to do. That's why I say he's probably. I'm not gonna say he's definitely going on IR. I haven't heard that definitively.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
because there's a week 4 bye week 2 or week 5.
Week 5.
Right?
Yeah. So if they do put him on IR designated to return, theoretically, if he's definitely like if it's like a month or 5 weeks or like a 4 to 6 week thing, you're looking at by the time the Steelers host the Browns in week 6 at Acrisure Stadium, he's ready to go.
And you take that, I think, all things considered. That's not the end of the world. Right.
Yeah, if at the end of the season, Derek Harmon's played 13 games, you'll take it. Yeah, you'd like for him to play 16 or 17, but you'll take it.
Yeah.
So, and Cody, the one thing we're all forgetting in here is there's this guy named Cam Hayward who is pretty good.
Hasn't played yet.
And not a lot of people are thinking about that right now. So I do think that they could get away with it if they were to do that. It's definitely an injury you don't want to have. Of course, you want to be completely healthy. But if you're looking at where the Steelers are right now in terms of health, their starting quarterback's healthy, their running backs are healthy, their receivers minus Calvin Austin are healthy. All their tight ends, Johnny Smith, it's not a thing.
Yeah,
I promise you, he's
good.
not. It's not a thing. So their tight ends are healthy. Their offensive line is healthy.
You'll take it going into the season.
You will. If Derek Harmon is your only legitimate injury going into the season, you will take that bill of health for sure.
I got a quick D-line question for you before it slips my mind.
Yeah.
I think we'll both agree that while Harmon is out, the bulk of the work will be Cam, Benton, Black, right?
I would think so, but I do think that Black will rotate pretty heavily with Isaiah Loudermilk.
That was my next question: is who do you think is next, and how do you feel about the group after those three?
You
think Loudermilk definitely is a team made
because of also what he does on special teams? Yes.
Okay.
Especially now.
Yeah.
I mean, if Harmon is placed on IR, then yes, Loudermilk's on the roster.
Lee's going to make the team.
I do think Lee's going to make. I mean, even before the last 53-man projection I did, I had Cam, Benton, Harmon, Black, Lee, and Loudermilk. I had 6. Okay. I can't remember if I had 6 or 7, but I definitely had those 6 for sure. Okay. No, I had 7. I also had Ekawale on there too.
Okay, I always say his name, and I called him.
Okay, so I had 7, and those were my 7.
Talking to Max Starks last night, he thinks Ekawale will make the team for sure.
I think so too. I mean, he's your backup nose tackle.
Yeah, which has value,
because Black can play nose, but
we saw a little bit of that this preseason, by the way.
Yes, we did. We did, and that's what he did at Iowa. So you would expect for that to happen, but he's playing the 4-eye quite a bit in the Steelers 3-4, and even one of the plays he made last night, he did it from a 7 technique.
Which is bonkers.
That's hilarious.
Right,
he's 6'6", 336, and he got a forced fumble and I think sack from a 7 technique. That's right. Crazy. I don't care that he's going up against backups and guys who probably aren't going to be making the team in Carolina.
That's like Chris Jones stuff. Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Before we take a break, any other really quick thoughts before we kind of dive more into roster construction? We already have 11 cuts today. Not anybody who's like, whoa, it was 11 guys who all expected to get cut. But anything else that really kind of jumped out to you? Because we also haven't talked since the Buccaneers game either.
No, I know. We're behind.
Anything that's really stood out to you before we take another break?
I'm going to do a super quick thing here just because you mentioned the 11 cuts. I thought it was great news that they cut the new long snapper.
Yes.
Kuntz must be fine. That's all I wanted to hear. We rented you guy for a week and get out of here. We got to bring our dude back. We're feeling good. He'll be there for the Jets. So Kuntz must be fine. Yeah.
No, that's definitely good news for him.
I also want to talk Beanie Bishop on the other side a little bit.
Oh, we're going to talk Beanie Bishop. That's another thing we're going to be talking about. But we also know that Logan Lee can emergency snap.
I know, but
in a pinch. But
emergency is a big word there.
It is. And listen, it could be worse. It could have been what James Harrison did whenever he was the emergency long snapper.
Absolutely.
So Logan Lee, I mean, he practices that stuff. Like, he tries to be ready. It's kind of like Zach Gentry with the whole emergency quarterback thing. Like, he would kind of have everything going on up here in case I ever have to go in. You know, that was also before the third quarterback stuff was, being allowed. So anyway, all right, let's take a break real quick. When we come back, we'll be back to talk more about just what we've learned about this team throughout the preseason. And we're going to be talking some Beanie Bishop too. So we'll be right back right after this.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Southside Beat here on DK Pittsburgh Sports. So preseason is over. We thought Thursday night was going to be a pretty big night for a number of guys who are trying to make the roster, trying to make an impression. Even if they don't make the 53, maybe they, kind of get that gentleman's agreement that happens that nobody will actually talk about, that hey, we're going to cut you at 359, but at 401, you're going to be signed to the practice, just whatever it is.
Yep.
One guy who didn't get
Stay by your phone,
Yeah, exactly. But one guy who didn't get that opportunity was Beanie Bishop, who was, for 8 games last year, this team's starting slot corner. And I have a very hard time seeing Beanie Bishop making this roster right now. Maybe it can still happen, but man, I'm starting to really have some serious. I was already kind of concerned a little bit. I'm starting to have some serious concerns about it now.
Okay, so I think we had this conversation, but I do so much Steelers talk with so many people, sometimes I forget who talks with who. And there was a time not long ago, I thought there was 2 roster spots for the combination of Trice, Bishop, Pierre.
I agree. Yes.
3 dogs, 2 bones. Trice hasn't played in so long. I think Pierre is definitely getting a spot.
Yes.
And I think it might just be 5 corners that Trice and Bishop are both on their way out. And even then, I thought Bishop was the least likely to get one of the 2 spots. So Pierre's special team stuff, I think, makes him number 1 on that list. Trice's length and height puts him 2 on that list. Bishop then comes in 3. Now, I'm thinking more and more they might only keep 5 because Eccles can back up 3 spots. It's not ideal, but Trice is just never on the field. I mean, when's the last time we saw this guy?
That's a problem. Now, I do know that Trice is doing work.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe it right now.
Like their team doctor might be like, shut up, Williamson, he'll be fine.
But now, granted, I do know for a fact, and I can report he's still not practicing with the team, but he is doing physical activity on the football field.
Good. Okay. Good.
So
I didn't know that.
I'm not ready to say he's going to be ready for week 1.
Okay. But you don't think it's outlandish to say that either.
I don't think it's outlandish. I definitely think it's very, very much in question.
Okay.
Sure. I'm not ready to go like, oh yeah, I saw him on the field. He looks great. For sure. He's going to be ready.
He's fine, yeah.
Now the Steelers are about to practice 5 days in a row. They practice starting tomorrow. It'll go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then they have the mandatory 4 days off after that, which every team has to do before like CBA, the actual week of preparation. Yeah, because of the CBA. So over these next 5 practices, I will be looking to see, hey, do I see 27 anywhere? I know I'm not talking about Trey Sermon. Do I see 27 anywhere, on the field? So 27 in gold, not 27 in white then.
There you go.
But I'll be looking.
Yes, and I changed my tune on that 5 or 6 corner.
Well, listen, because there are going to be 3 practices before cut down. Well, really 4 practices before cut down. Because there's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Tuesday's deadline's at 4 p.m. And the Steelers will already be done with the practice by then. So
cool, good enough.
4 practices ahead of that. Maybe Trice gets on the field, participates just in individual drills, if he's doing anything with the team, I feel a lot better about Corey Trice being on the roster.
Okay.
And if that's the
Good.
case,
I like
if
that.
that's the case, then I have a very hard time, because to your point, James Pierre, pretty much a roster lock, because pretty much just because of what he can do on special teams, that he's very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus he can play in a pinch on the outside. It's good to have when you're talking about getting to CB5 and CB6 on your depth chart.
That's what I say. Like if he even has to play defense, a lot of bad things happen.
A lot.
Right.
Because if Slay or Porter go down with an injury, Ramsey's going to the outside, and then Eccles will go into the slot. Or if Ramsey, whatever
and Eccles
it is,
can back up everybody, and Ramsey can back up everybody.
Exactly.
Right.
So you have Ramsey and Eccles both with the ability to play outside, who will both be there before James Pierre get there. So if James Pierre is on the field on defense, to your point,
bad things happen.
Yeah, I mean, we're
it's
talking
not like previous years when he gets on the field, because
where he's like CB3 because
right,
yeah. So all of that being said, if Trice can get onto the field and start practicing with the team, even in a limited fashion, I do think Trice will be on the roster.
Good. Okay, that's great.
Because I know this for a fact. They love him.
Okay.
Love him, and not only from people within the organization, but from players. They rave about his work ethic. I mean,
great. That I knew.
They really, really like the guy, and they just want to be like, you know what? It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the hope and praying that, I just pray he's going to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They
want to do that so long,
it to work. They do want it to work, but there's a reason why he fell to the 7th round. And this
injuries, right?
So
I've even said, Chris, I mean, I could write a story where Trice and Porter are your outside corners next year, and Ramsey's your slot.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think that's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, Trice.
What's your thoughts on Beanie though? I have 2 tinfoil hat ones.
Well, my thing on Beanie is Pierre and Trice can both play outside, and can both play special teams.
Right.
Beanie only plays in the slot.
He needs like 2 injuries to get on the field,
and
that's never going to happen, right?
But even then, like it's like
then, right?
But are you really going to dedicate one of 6 cornerback spots to a guy that who's number 1, not a starter, and then number 2 can only play in the slot and do nothing else?
That's what I mean. Like, not only do you have to have 2 injuries, but it has to be to Ramsey and Eccles.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's why, like, for a while now, I've been like, he doesn't do anything else. Like they haven't been. I mean, I'm not saying
his fault. They just weren't. Neither one of those players were here last year,
right? And I'm not even saying like Beanie, like he cannot play special teams, but he doesn't. They don't use him on special teams.
He's not one of their best gunners. He's not a returner. He's not going to do anything else.
Well, there might be a reason for
exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just have a hard time right now seeing Beanie making the roster.
Super quick. I don't think this will matter in a week. No one will care about Beanie Bishop anymore. But it just is odd that he played 0 snaps. And my tinfoil hat theory is one of 2 things. Either a GM that has nothing at slot corner called Omar on Friday and said, we'll give you a 7th round pick for Beanie. Don't dress him. We watched enough tape against real teams last year that will give you something for him. Just don't get him hurt in the meantime. Or they said, Beanie, you gave us a lot of good work. I don't want you to get hurt Sunday. So maybe somebody claims you off waivers. We'll do you a favor and not play you so that maybe you can land on your feet somewhere else.
Could be.
It's weird to have 0.
Yeah. I kind of like that theory because there will be a lot of, I mean, we've already seen it. There are a lot of phone calls being made.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the Steelers are.
But they're likely to do something.
I think so, but I'm not ready to say that they are. Listen, I've reported this previously on our app on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Like, they are not as active in looking for a receiver as people think they want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. That being said, there will be teams that will be cutting receivers because they have too many. The Patriots are one of them.
Yeah, okay.
The Packers could be another
Could be
one.
Green Bay, yeah.
Right. There are teams like the Patriots have like 9 receivers that are probably worthy of being on a 53-man roster somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, like, there will be teams that cut receivers, and the Steelers could be trying to pounce on that. They could be like, listen, if we can trade Beanie and get a 7th, then we can trade a 7th and get this receiver, whatever it is, then maybe that's what they end up doing. But there will be a lot of, and Dwight Jefferson brings up Christian Kirk. I'm skeptical of anything with Houston because they already traded away Mechie.
Yeah, a week ago I'd have been all ears. I think now that ship sailed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I wrote this on our app on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Like I wrote down like all of the potential options, or at least a really good amount of them. If it's not every single one, it's a pretty exhaustive list.
I haven't done that in a while.
I did think Houston at one point, but as soon as Mechie got traded to the Eagles, it's like, I don't know if they're going to trade anybody now.
No.
Kirk's
a starter for them right now.
Right. And so I don't see that happening. Maybe, like I said, maybe Green Bay. I don't know if it's going to be Romeo Dobbs. Maybe it's Wicks. Maybe it's Reed. I don't know. But then again, the Patriots have so many, even with Polk and the concerns about his injury, even not considering him, they're going to have too many. Like Matt Collins can end up getting cut. We don't know. So
they just threw a bunch of stuff at the fan and see what's going to stay.
Well, they threw a lot, and they have too much. Like there will be guys cut. They're not going to keep 8 receivers on their roster. Of course not. Right. So there is a there was somebody who brought up a comment that made me think of something, but I remember I wanted to get to it. I can't remember what. Okay, here we go. I found it. Mike, said, "Hey, I saw Broderick whiff at least 3 times last game. Got bailed out a couple of times. Did you see that?" I want to use that to then talk about how do you feel about the tackle duo, the pair of first rounders with Broderick Jones, Troy Fautanu. How do you feel about these guys after watching them for 3 preseason games? I think it was a total of 7 series. Like if you were to add it up all throughout the preseason. How do you feel after watching both of these guys and perform the way that they did?
I think we might have a conversation 1 year from now saying Fautanu is one of the best 5 right tackles in the league. Him and Y.A. Black, I'm like jumping out of my skin about.
Listen, I did a chalk talk on Fautanu from the Jacksonville game, and his footwork, and I already knew this like when he was coming out of Washington.
Oh man,
his footwork is phenomenal. He mirrors edge rushers so well. Yes, and like without even trying, and it's just
it comes out of his stance and marries his feet with his hands. And it's always battle. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, he is. He's really I really do think the Steelers got a heck of a player.
Yeah.
At 20th overall, like that year with Fautanu. Jones, I'm gonna be more on the optimistic side here. And
I'm leaning more on the good than the bad.
Yeah, because now, granted, this is coming from a perspective where I was not very optimistic. Especially early on, like in camp, Friday Night Lights happens, and he gets the pants beaten off him by Alex Highsmith. And I'm like,
I remember having lunch with you the day after. I didn't go to Friday Night Lights.
I'm like, this is
you said some bad words. Yeah.
It was worthy of it. It was worthy of all the 4-letter words that we can't say on this show. But he really, really turned it around. Had a good final 4 or 5 practices at training camp, and I thought, yes, there were a couple of times in which he's whiffed, no doubt about it.
Yes.
No tackle bats 1,000 in these situations. But overall, I thought he's played a lot better than I expected. I still don't think he's going to be like, by season's end, he's a top 10 left tackle in the league.
Oh, that's Jonathan Ogden. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
But he's
trending the right way?
Is he trending to be even an average left tackle?
I think he's trending to get his 5th-year option picked up. And to me, that's a win.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. That's the hurdle I want to get over with him.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. And the one thing about Broderick that I'm seeing is, number one, he's moving a lot better.
There was an injury right before Friday Night Lights.
There was.
And he plays through that stuff. He played through the elbow. I give him credit for that.
He does. And the one thing that he did, and he did this on his own, was he was like, I'm going to shed a lot of weight. And if I need to put more weight on, then I can put more weight on. But he shed a lot of weight. I mean,
I think he's as big as he wants.
He's under 300 pounds now.
I've heard. Yeah.
I don't care what he's listed at. He's under 300 pounds now.
I'm watching him next to Washington.
And Washington's
clear
over
who's bigger.
Washington is over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Again, I don't care what these guys are listed at. Like you're hearing it right here. Darnell Washington weighs more than 300 pounds. Broderick Jones weighs less than 300 pounds.
Yeah, it's clear who's bigger than the other no matter if they're in pads or not. Right?
But Broderick is moving a lot better now.
He's still strong.
That's helping. Yes, and so that was the other thing. Was the one thing that I'm liking about Broderick so far is that whenever he goes back into a pass pro rep and he sets back, he does that initial setback that all tackles do, and he gets in that stance and he sees that nobody's coming. He looks over to his right, and right now it's Spencer Anderson, but it'll be Isaac Seumalo, and he'll look at that guy he was engaged with, and he'll just freaking plow that guy. And he
looks for work. Yeah,
he did that last night, and I don't even remember
to dish out punishment.
I don't remember who the guy was on Carolina, but he's got a Broderick Jones whole head, like the shape of Broderick Jones's head is imprinted on the side of his helmet. Like he just obliterated him.
Like the Kool-Aid guy coming through the wall.
No joke. Like he completely destroyed that guy. And that's the kind of stuff that Troy Fautanu does that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there was a really, really good rep, and Broderick's already been good at this. Even throughout all the ups and downs from last year, he picks up stunts really well. Like really, really well.
About that. Okay, yeah.
But he does. And he's been doing that. He put it on tape last year, and he's doing it again. There was one in particular I remember watching while watching this game back, because all 22 came out really early. I remember watching this back, and there was one where Spencer and Broderick, I mean, they ran a stunt, and it was perfectly executed. And engaged with the guy first, saw the stunt, passed the guy off, went and picked up the guy who was coming around. Perfectly done.
Yeah. Give Pat Meyer a little credit, by the way,
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, people want to hate on Pat Meyer for the Broderick Jones issues, but they want to completely forget about giving him any credit when it comes to Zach Frazier or Mason McCormick. Or here's Troy
Anderson as a 7th round pick,
right. But here's Troy Fautanu with 55 snaps as a rookie, which was in week 2 last year, by the way, and he is already looking like a polished second-year player.
Yeah. And you mentioned McCormick. Okay, here's an injury. You're going to get thrown in and start now.
No joke.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, we're kind of getting your
super quick on Jones. Mark Madden asked me this, and I think it's important that when the bullets are flying for real, the guy to his right is going to be Seumalo, and often the guy to his left is going to be Washington.
Yes.
That is a wonderful safety blanket, comfort zone.
Yep.
Like you talk to any old school O lineman, like Tunch and Wolf used to always be like, we just look at each other and grunt. Like being next to Seumalo, I think will be very comforting. Or, hey, keep an eye on this. Here comes a stunt. Miles Garrett's going to cross your face. Whatever it is,
Yeah. Chris here says Jones is going to be okay. He just needs to keep his head up and not use the crown. I mean, that's textbook pass pro. You don't ever put your head down, because if you miss and you lose, you cannot recover. So yeah, that's the
thing about him is he's so talented that sometimes he can be wrong and still get away with it.
Well, and see, that's the thing, is that there have been plenty of times in which he has lowered his head, and he's just won because he's just really strong.
He's gifted, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's just big and strong. He's built like a prototypical left tackle, and he's dangerously strong to boot despite weighing less than 300 pounds. Yeah. So any other, we're kind of near the end of time, but we still have a couple more weeks to kind of go through.
We'll do this again next week and recap a lot of this kind of stuff. And,
really quick, just to go through this. Let's see. Hold on a second. I had this, and then I had like a whole bunch of things pop up on my phone all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get to the list of players that were cut, just officially to put it on here.
Not a lot of big names, right?
Kenny Willekes, however you say his name, I don't even know. But he was just signed like a few days ago. No. Jake McQuaid, the long snapper, cut. 4 defensive backs: Cam Alexander, Quindell Johnson, Kyler McMichael, and Mikey Victor. 2 offensive linemen: Doug Nestor, Julian Pearl. Logan Woodside, rest in peace. He is cut.
Yeah, he's not very good.
Running, no, he's not. Running back Evan Hull was cut. Not surprised there. And then tight end Kevin Folsch. So that's 11 going down from 90. So they got 26 more cuts to go. They
don't have to feed him anymore. They can't get hurt. They don't bug their position coach anymore. Get out of my way. Right?
Yeah. So any final thoughts? Like I said, I know we have a couple more shows before the season starts, but any more thoughts that you kind of want to get out there now on just overall preseason, how you feel about this team, certain positions, certain player, anything?
No, I don't want to Caleb Johnson worries me a little bit. That could be a 15-minute conversation, so maybe that's a tease for next one. I would like to see him make real defenders miss. And you know what I mean? I'm not saying he stinks or it's a bad pick. It's just he's third on the depth chart, and I think he deserves to be right now.
I'll counter that really quick.
Okay.
I agree. He needs to make more guys miss in open space
or break more tackles in general. It'd be harder to tackle against the Ravens' first team defense.
Right.
That's what worries me today.
But I'm liking especially after the first preseason game, the past couple of weeks, I've really liked the way he has been decisive and he's read where to go and he's gone there.
Yeah. Knows the path and takes it and doesn't screw around. And
that's kind of like he had a few against the Buccaneers, whether it was wide zone or inside zone, no matter what it was, he knew exactly where to go. He was making his reads and he was reacting as he was supposed to. That's why it's written out in the playbook. Hey, by the time you get to your third step, you need to outside zone, third step, you need to know where to go. Fifth step, you have to make your cut if you're cutting, or you have to keep going on your track.
You knew that before you got here.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. That's not stuff that's brand new to the NFL. That's stuff that's kind of taught throughout, running wide zone in high school and college. So he kind of knows this stuff. So it's getting back to, and that's what I've seen over the past couple of games. I've seen more of the guy who's being decisive, who's making good reads, and he's going where he's supposed to go. Sometimes he just gets blown up anyway because the blocking is not good enough. But other times he is making good reads and he's getting 6 yards here, 8 yards there, 7 yards there. That I'm fine with him learning eventually how to make guys miss, as long as in the meantime you average 4.5 to 5 yards a carry.
Oh yeah, I'll take that all day long.
That's what I'm saying.
There's times he's taking it to the edge though that I'm guys that can really run are going to track him down if he tries that against the Ravens' first team defense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And granted, we are seeing that against now the Buccaneers for one thing. The Buccaneers, even for not their starters being in there, they're pretty deep up front. Doing it against the Panthers is a little bit different.
Yeah,
they're pretty terrible.
Some lawyers and doctors and newspapers, right?
No joke. Such a bad football team, man.
Right? Why would they not?
I don't like that. I don't like that stadium either. That's one of my least favorite stadiums I've worked at. That was the second time I've been there, and I disliked it even less than I did the first time. I'm just not a fan.
I heard the local watering holes are all right though.
I did not even get a chance to go to a local watering hole. Okay. So that makes it even worse.
Pursuta was unhappy that he was not on that trip.
I mean,
not because of the stadium or the view.
There will be plenty of other opportunities to visit local watering holes, I think, in some pretty good cities this year too. So, but I'm looking forward to that. And then there's always the Combine Indy. That's always a good time too. So, all right. Well, that'll do it for the Southside Beat. This episode of it, and we will be back sometime next week. By the time we talk again, the roster will be cut down to 53 players. A lot of moves will be made, whether it's just 26 cuts and nothing else, or whether it's more cuts than that, maybe a couple trades thrown in. Either way, we'll be back next week to discuss anything and everything that happens with the Steelers in the meantime. So until then, we'll catch you guys on the Flippity Flip. We will see you later.